Well, welcome back to Business Live. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is leading a government delegation to Asia on a study tour and to scout for investors. The announcement was made in a statement issued by the Finance Ministry earlier today. George Yafe is in the studio with me tonight to tell us more about what the statement is saying, George.
So, Daryl, if you go through this, they are telling us that they're going to do a study tour. And if you look at when it comes to countries that are very strong in finance, Singapore is very, very strong when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to bond issue, when it comes to the banking sector. So if you talk about, apart from the European countries and the Americas, where to go, or even them being more of the place to be when it comes to investment and all those things, Singapore is very, very strong. And that is why we understand they are going there. Look at developments in Europe. There are problems with investment, there are problems with returns and all those things. So it looks like the next place to go is the Asian markets, where they still have lots of funds available. They don't know where to invest these funds. And that is why government wants to tap into an area or a region that is very strong in finance to learn as well, and also tell their businessmen then, come to Ghana.
All right, just for the benefit of those watching, what is this non-deal roadshow about?
Okay, so normally if you want to raise Eurobond or raise funds from outside, before that exercise is closed in terms of raising that money, you need to go out and engage these investors. Now engage them, tell them that this is the company or the country called Ghana. These are our prospects. These are the funds that we have. These are the challenges. Give me X amount of money. This will be the return. Now, that exercise starts maybe on Monday and ends on Friday. When we end on Friday, then we try and raise those funds. And that is when, if it's a deal roadshow, you are beginning this exercise, engage these investors. You end that exercise by raising money. If you're doing a non-deal roadshow, it means that you're going all right to engage investors all right, but at the end of the day, you're not raising money. So that is why we are looking at, they're talking about the non-deal roadshow here. And that was even announced in the budget, where they will be seeking to raise some Eurobonds, actually. So it looks like they are testing the waters in Asia to see whether they are interested.
Because that was going to be the next question, because there's an upcoming Eurobond.
You're right on that one.
So there's a connection?
There's a connection. And when you look at the global economy now, there have been there's challenges in Europe, there are challenges in America. So you want to look at new markets where you can raise funds. And not necessarily about the Eurobond as well, but these are, you can look at targeting angel investors. These are investors who are out there. They have lots of money. They don't know where to place these funds. They need somebody from a country called Ghana to convince us that these are the measures we've put in place as a country. If you lend your money to us, everything is going to be okay. And that is why they so a more of try to kill two birds or four birds with one stone.
So who do we know is on this trip?
Well, the governor of the Bank of Ghana is there. The chief executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is there. We also have other ministers joining the minister on this trip, and also other chief executives as well. The Free Zones Bond and the others joining the minister on this whole trip from the 4th, from 9th to the 14th of February, Valentine's Day.
All right. And I've got to ask you about our 5-year bond, because we understand that the country has secured more than what we targeted for. Tell us more about this, and what are the results really?
So if you go through the official results that was released by those who are managing the bond, we went into this bond hoping that we are going to raise just about 1 billion Ghana cedis. The results show that we got about a little over 2 billion Ghana cedis, so more than what you're looking forward to. Now, how much are you prepared to pay the investors who lent you or give you this money over this period? They were hoping that they will pay them 16.5%. That is the maximum. They are paying them that. And so for this period, every year, you're going to have an interest being paid to these investors about 16.5% every year per annum. And if you do a quick comparison again, what we paid the investors the last time we issued a 5-year bond, that was around 17.5. So it looks like we are making some savings, and this whole claim by government of reprofiling the debts and also looking at a longer period to pay back, then we can making some savings. Then it looks like it would impact again on our public debt.
So what's going to be the impact of this on the cedi as well?
Well, often, and we are not getting those fine results, but often these bonds are taken up by foreign investors, and they're going to bring in. So what happens is that they just tell the banks, for instance, if I'm in Cayman Islands and I'm a bond manager there, and I send the request through Standard Chartered Bank to buy X amount of bonds for me, I'll bring the dollars to the bank to make that purchase for me. When that money hits the bank account, they might send it to the Bank of Ghana, or in turn look for cedis to again buy the bonds or pay the bonds on their behalf at the Bank of Ghana. Now, that's some amount of FX coming in, and that could go a long way to boost the Bank of Ghana's reserves. So if all these investors out there, if all these fund managers out there know or have an idea that the Bank of Ghana's reserves are going up, then I wouldn't go out there to push for more dollars when I don't need it. Because one of the things that is pushing the city down, the flip-flops, is that people believe that things are not good, things are going to be bad. Therefore, let me hoard dollars. So if you get the sense that if you're issuing a 5-year bond, more dollars are coming in, well, I'll be rest assured and just stand and wait and keep quiet and look at how things will go.
All right, George Uyafe, thanks for breaking that all down for us. And well, as we speak about all of this, we've been getting the opinion of financial analyst Charles Mensah on this and what the proceeds from the bond should be used for. Take a listen. All right, we'll bring you that interview in a bit. You're still watching Business Live. Now, the minority in Parliament is challenging President Akufo-Addo on figures presented about the country's total debt stock. Let's bring you a report from a press conference held earlier today.
According to managers of the auction, government had more than 2 billion cedis worth of bids from investors, but just accepted 1.99 billion cedis at an interest of about 16.5%. The interest the government will be paying on this bond is a little lower than 17.5% that is paid on the last 5-year bond that closed last year. The almost 2 billion cedis of the funds would hit the Bank of Ghana's account next Monday. Since a fraction of this bond was taken up from foreigners, this would bring in some dollars, a development that could go a long way to make available more dollars, which would help stabilize the cedi. Government plans to issue a total of 11.13 billion cedis in the first 3 months of this year, of which 8.96 million cedis are rollovers to restructure maturing debt.
All right, so we'll have some analysis on that in a bit with economist Professor Godfred Boppin. Let's take you back to our earlier story where we've been talking about the fact that government met more than what it targeted in a 5-year bond. Here's financial analyst Charles Mensah.
For some activity, what activity is it? Is it a social activity or is it a commercial activity? Economic activity, I mean. So that if you're going to use it to construct roads, we know that the likelihood is that we may get toll from the roads, the cars and things. You know, economic activity will be booming. But if it is that we are going to use it for certain things, like education, it's not immediate return venture. It's a long-term thing. So that one, you would usually be looking at maybe managing it out of the system, because if it is that directly, I mean, when I say managing out of the system, maybe you're going to use taxes, special taxes, to fund that. So that you know that you expect a certain amount of taxes out of education, like what we did for the GET fund. So you know there's a certain levy or there's a certain taxes coming towards education. So you're secured for that. But where you have so much and you're going to put so much into, let's say, education, in itself is good. But when you're going to service the debt, and the people that you produce out of education are not even working, you have 2 troubles, because the guys have all graduated. You are going to create unemployment. The person that you borrow from is equally looking to be serviced. So you probably have to go and borrow again, double. So you end up borrowing to go and pay the old debt, and also borrow to see whether you can do some activity to secure the young ones who just graduated. So that's where we have to have a combination of economic activity and social activity. Don't put all into social activity and don't put also all into economic activity. You have to work out properly. And of course, if you have these people who can project and predict things in a longer period, then you can work properly and make sure that the money is going here, and they get plugged in properly.
All right, you're watching Business Live here on JoyNews. Now, we're going back to another story that we have been following for you tonight. Chairman of leading dealers in Superior Stationery, that is Scriv Ghana Limited, Reverend Kennedy Okosun, has urged governments to still do more in improving the business environment. According to him, even though managers of the economy have reviewed some taxes, a lot more still needs to be done to improve the situation for enterprises. He spoke to Joy Business at a workshop to showcase their European products.
Leading dealers in Superior Stationery, Quiff Ghana Limited, organized the workshop to interact with their customers and stakeholders. The company also exhibited European products and demonstrated the functions of some of their products, like customer feedback device and queue management system, which was launched recently, counting machines that detect counterfeit monies, fireproof safes, among other stationery items. Chairman of Quiff Ghana Limited, Kennedy Okosun, urged government to put in place right policies on taxation, cost of accessing credit to create an enabling environment for businesses to operate.
The right policies would always enhance an enabling environment. Policies which have to do with taxation, policies which have to do with cost of running business, cost of borrowing from the banks. Whatever the government will put in place that will help in this direction will greatly enhance business environment and greatly enhance businesses in Ghana.
Reverend Okosun also advised businesses to make sure that their products have international standardization to enable customers have value for their money.
And there are organizations all over the world that standardize products and check that these meet quality requirements. And in Ghana, we should evolve to that point. It is fraud to sell a product which does not meet the requirement.
Further Adam for Joy Business.
All right, you're watching Business Live. Let's go on to the phone line, speak to economist Professor Godfrey Bokping about a story we're following for you. The minority holding a press conference earlier today challenging claims made by the president about the country's total debt stock. Good evening to you, Prof. First question, how can we independently assess the true state of Ghana's debt stock?
That's interesting, and that is unfortunate that at this stage we are wondering what is the true state of our debt. It has to be one debt stock, and it's Ghana's debt stock. It doesn't have to become multiple choice so that you choose the one that you like. So I think as early as possible there has to be some clarification. I'm not too sure the figure that the opposition has put out there, for which reason one would have to suspect the one that the government has given. But I think largely, if it has been the same process through which the previous government relate information to us in terms of the debt stock and all of that, then probably we may not be able to argue much on that level. But I think with time, the true debt stock would come out because even if our own government or the opposition is unable to tell us the correct one, sometimes our correspondence with international bodies like the IMF and the World Bank, we are able to get what the true state of the debt stock is from them. It's unfortunate that we have to rely on them to get the true state of the debt stock.
Well, I don't know whether I should be asking you this, but what has delayed the Bank of Ghana in coming out with the current debt numbers?
I've also wondered along that line, because looking at the economic and financial statistics they put out in January, I mean, for monetary policy, you want your data to be as current as possible, and to lend credibility to the policy prescription, and to also generate the needed market confidence. I'm unsure what their difficulties are, because this has been the practice for a while now. And I'm not too sure how we can resolve that so that we can have really up-to-date data to inform discussions, planning, budgeting, and all of that. But so far, per the State of the Nation address, we were given what the debt stock relative to GDP is at 68.3% end of 2017. If the minority has a different figure, then they have to put it out. Did they give you what the true debt stock is?
We don't have that detail.
If they don't have that, then it's very difficult to suspect the one that the government has given. My understanding is that to say 2 + 2 is not 5, you should know it is 4.
But could this debate, one person saying this is the actual situation on the ground, the other person saying no, this is the actual situation on the ground, could it have any implications on our economy?
Yeah, it may not be that significant, but I think that we have worked so hard over the years to build market credibility, market confidence, and all of that. So when you get those conflicting statements, but not conflicting maybe from government itself, but the fact that the opposition statement is something else. But I think that it would also be good. I mean, I may not find anything wrong with that if the opposition comes out with what they deem to be the true state of the nation, then there has to be a comprehensive report on that, and with all the figures, inflation, all the other indicators, and all of that. I think that is also good for our democracy. I mean, it doesn't have to be that they will just accept anything the government puts out there, but there has to be a credible basis to challenge that which government has put out there, which would also help in the discussion and all of that. So, but the bit that I've not been happy of the fact that even Bank of Ghana's own data is not that current to probably where we would have wished that it is, but I'm not too sure what their challenges are and all of that. But I think that in terms of its impact on the economy, it may not be that significant. We have to
wrap up on this conversation. I just want to ask you a quick one. Talk about the roadshow that government is trying to embark on in Asia. People are asking questions. Why not raise the monies internally? Why go outside of the country? Your thoughts, briefly?
There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that is a move that I support. I mean, Singapore, for instance, they have one of the biggest sovereign wealth in the world over. So if we can attract a long-term capital from that to complement that which we are able to generate here, I think that is fine. Along the lines of private equity, private investment, FDI, to Ghana, I don't think that there's something wrong. Whether we like it or not, even if we are moving beyond aid, that may not necessarily suggest that FDI, foreign direct investment, and all those things will have to be stopped. No, we need that to complement whatever we are able to make. Don't forget that saving levels are very low in this country. And therefore, if we want to finance our own development agenda from just IGF, internally generated funds, that is going to be difficult. So I think that I support the move. I think that it's all about how do we attract capital at the lowest cost, foreign direct investment. But at the end of the day, you also want to make sure that you put in place the right regulatory environment to ensure that abuses are minimized, that the country gets its fair share of all this interaction.
All right. Thanks very much for your time. That was economist Professor Godfrey Bokpin. Now, Access Bank says it would embark on some programs and projects to help encourage the culture of savings in the country. According to the managing director of the bank, Dolapo Ogundimu, it is currently investing heavily in technology to help attract the unbanked. He spoke to Joy Business at the final presentation of awards at the Access Bank Achedia Kessie promotion. Charles Aite has more.
According to MD of Access Bank, Dolapo Ogundimu, closing the deficit of Ghana's unbanked population, which currently stands at 40%, remains a priority of the bank.
I'm pleased that we are making significant strides towards achieving our financial inclusion of our goals of focusing on underserved and unbanked segments of our population, especially the youth. The youth, for instance, form a critical aspect of our strategy as we aim to become a leading retail bank in Ghana within the next 5 years.
Dolapo Ogundimu believes that investing heavily in technology goes a long way to deepen financial inclusion in Ghana.
Opportunities to make payments online, to do all sorts of transactions. We cannot underestimate their potential and the need for us to develop tailor-made banking services and solutions to serve their ever-changing lifestyle, which is more important now than ever before.
Meanwhile, head of private and women banking, Matilda Asante, tells Joy Business that her outfit is now introducing new packages to improve financial inclusion, especially among women.
We have women. Again, we know if you go to Mokola right now, the bulk of the money is in some woman's, wallet or something. How are we harnessing that? Our women's initiative is doing that for us by giving them training, understanding their business, and supporting them with financial services so that they can grow their business.
So far, Access Bank's Achadia Cassia promotion has seen over 2,000 customers rewarded for their urge to inculcate in the culture of savings. The ultimate winners, the Tinalet family, consisting of Ernestina Safo and Letitia Ajaychum, took home a cash prize of 150,000 Ghana cedis.
In other news tonight, the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission is pushing for the country to explore local expertise as government works to generate nuclear power soon. This came to light on the sidelines of a stakeholder forum on the outlook of the energy sector for the year 2018. Karen Dodu has the rest of the story.
The introduction of nuclear as part of Ghana's source of energy has been said by experts to be one of the solutions to the country's power crisis. Currently, Ghana has no nuclear power plants, although there is one nuclear research reactor in Ghana as well as plans to rebuild a power plant. As part of the plan, the Ghana Nuclear Regulatory Bill has been passed and is waiting the President's assent. The objective of the bill is to establish the Ghana Nuclear Regulatory Authority with clear functions and responsibilities and to provide for the beneficial and peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Director of the Nuclear Power Institute under the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Stephen Yamwa, has advised that more investment should be made in local expertise.
No country can develop a nuclear power program by relying on foreign expertise. You have to train your local workforce. So you have to plan for them. How many people do you need? What are the different categories of professionals that you need? So you need to do this planning. And then what kind of training will be required in order to build their capacity to be able to, perform the tasks that they are supposed to perform. For nuclear program, and I believe it should be for all other areas, okay? I mean, for me, it's sad that, after running thermal and, hydro plants for so many years, and then if there is some fault somewhere, then we bring in, foreigners to come and fix it. That cannot be sustained for a nuclear power program. And this is the mentality that we are injecting into the program, that we are injecting to various stakeholders that we are working with. So the way forward is we have our plan. We have come out with a human resource development plan for the program that identifies various categories of professionals that will be needed. So the next step is we plan various training programs and make sure we tie it in with the program.
He added that although the country is on track in exploring nuclear energy, it has to quicken the pace.
The time the country took the decision, that was 2008, the same time UAE also took a decision. And UAE is commissioning their first power plant and 3 other plants are in advanced stages. Then I would say we haven't done enough. But on the other hand, since 2015, a lot has been done. A lot has been done that has moved the program up to where it is now. And as I said, we are almost completing phase 1 activities. So in that sense, we have done well. I mean, it's not excellent in terms of, how much time it has taken us to get to this far. But we have, the basis and the foundations have been laid well. And moving forward with the necessary support from stakeholders and government, I think we can hit our.
We don't usually do this on Business Live, but here's the news. 4G firm Busy Ghana has been taken over by a new investor, Afrimax. My colleague George Rafi joins me in the studio. George, we knew that Busy was struggling a bit, and so this, I don't know how you're going to take this.
Well, more of maybe more of a controlling stake in the firm, because we know that there is still some sort of connection, as you tried to explain earlier on, between this company and then 4G, the 4G firm that is Busy. But from the statement, it says that the Afrimax Group has successfully completed a sale of 84% shares in 4G Ghana Limited to, that is, Our Technologies Limited, rather. So they've sold their stake that they had in 4G, that is the Busy, to another firm called the Our Technologies Limited, a company incorporated in Ghana. So it looks like they were having some problems in terms of fresh capital and all those, and that is why this stick that they had in busy 4G, they've actually offloaded it to another company to try and take over the company. So it's more of Our Technologies rather directly now taking over for the 4G company that is busy.
We'll delve into what this means for the company and for the industry at 7:30 when we come your way with the business segment of Joy News Prime. Again, thanks very much for watching Business Live. My name is Daryl Kwao. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.